Hi Anthony, great to meet up with you yesterday and do a little bit of work on your game. Just to recap on the session that we did. First of all, we need to understand ball flight better. Initially you were thinking that the path of the club dictated the starting direction of the shot and the curve on the ball was a result of the club face position. It's actually the opposite to that. The club face dictates the starting direction of your golf shot, and the path of the golf club tends to dictate the spin or the curve on the golf ball. So it's the relationship still between the club face and the path, but it's the opposite to what you thought previously. So when that ball's curving to the right, it isn't necessarily the club face position that's at fault. We're also running the risk at the moment of hitting the ground behind the ball or topping it on occasion. And the reason for that is if we watch it as you swing the golf club, because you're trying to release that club, as you come into impact, there's a gain in height. And that gain in height we see there is to prevent the club digging in the ground. Now unfortunately, as you gain height, the arms work quickly to the left on the way through, and that imparts left to right spin on the golf ball because the path of the club is now working to the left. If we look at you at impact, club face pretty square, and yet all the golf balls are curving to the right. So why is it that the club's working quickly to the left and we're gaining height? Well, the reason we're doing that is because as we come into impact, as we said before, you're attempting to square the club too much. You're trying to do too much. As we come into impact now, you start to throw away all the angles in your right arm and the shaft, and you can see there as you're coming through, there's a quick flick of the wrists at the bottom, a lot of forearm rotation, lower body doing very little, and whenever you do that, the three shots you run the risk of hitting the ground behind the ball, pull hooking it left, or a big slice to the right. So really what we need to work on, Anthony, is leading more with the handle of the golf club. Quieten the hands down. Don't release the club. As we don't release, if we work on less of a release, that's going to allow us to maintain our angles better coming through. It's going to present the club slightly open to the target at impact. If we just put some lines on here for you, we're going to have a club that's slightly open to the target, but a path that's further to the right, which will give us a ball that curves right to left. It's going to start to the right because the club is pointing there. It's then going to curve to the left because that's where the path of the club is going. What we had at the start of your session was a club face that was square, but unfortunately a path that was to the left. So the golf ball is going to start straight and then bend to the right. Good luck with it, and I'll see you again in a few weeks' time.